Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakwadash. Double honors, all right, be to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, all right, as well as many blessings and salutations, all right, to the 144,000, which are the elect, the hopeful elect. And this lesson just comes off of, the news today. I've seen, a couple different Fortune 500 companies are declared that they're going to close hundreds of their businesses, and, I was just reflecting on over here in LA. All right, you have the LA County employees on a strike. The Heavenly Father, all right, is bringing economic woes to America. In the midst of all of this chaos, all right, being caused at the ports, man, you have Trump signing executive orders to arrest, passing laws to go into your home, all right, without warrants. And this is mainly aimed at the Northern Kingdom. A lot of you so-called Hispanics, so-called Latinos, Latinas are about to catch a lot of judgment. And this is all, prophesied. Brothers, go into these lessons and go into these different situations that have taken place over these last, 4 or 5 years, where the Lord just, brought the level of intensity up real high, and made it hot in the kitchen, so to speak. When you think about COVID-19, all right, and you think about these different elections, all these changes have brought a lot of economic woes. And this has been prophesied, So we see all these things that are being done in the midst of America, which is just low level shit right now that we seeing. It's only gonna get worse, all right, for the wicked, because the Lord said there is no peace unto the wicked, all right, but for the elect, all right, our expectation is that Babylon is going to fall. Our expectation is that the Lord is going to do everything he said he was going to do. So all of these things that we see taking place, being done, is not a surprise. The Lord said, be of good cheer. All right. So we actually, in a peaceful, cheerful mentality, all these things take place. I saw Jack in the Box. It's going to close down some stores. Like I said, UPS is going to close down some buildings. And it's just going to be more chaos on the streets. Because people are going to be, dealing with a lack of bread, dealing with a lack of money. And this society is all based upon what you have. Nobody loves you for who you are. All right. Especially these women. They only care about what you can do for them. And if you can't do anything for them, you really become irrelevant. These women are it's like scavengers. Going up to every man, dealing with all these different men, ultimately chasing a bag. And you're going to see a lot of harlots. A lot of you women are going to sell your body in these last days. Okay. You're going to lose your husband. All right. And in these wars, in the times of Jacob's trouble, And we're closely approaching, the beginning of the sorrows that the scriptures speak about, you know. The same thing that Ezra, right, he said, woe is me. All right, that same sentiment we're going to actually see in these times to come. Okay, because it's going to be all type of terror on every side. Same thing that Amos saw in his vision. All right, as if a bear did meet a lion. All right, that same sentiment is going to be that same way in America. You see that? But the Lord is going to keep his elect from the hour of temptation, you know. This is why we have a consistent prayer that we're of that number, the 144,000. Right, Revelation, the 3rd chapter. All right, because thou hast kept my word, I shall also keep thee from the hour of temptation. You know, the Lord is going to keep his elect. All right, not a single hair on our head is going to perish. Why? Because we're meditating, praying on survival and salvation, victory. All right, through who? Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Okay, these people are focused on, madness, gossip, Jesus Christ, not seeking 100% truth, because this truth is being pushed, and these people are not, taking heed because it's not meant for them. All right, the Lord has given them eyes that they can't see. Even more reasons why we should be appreciative that the Lord has given us an ear to hear this testimony, because eventually this testimony is going to complete it. It's going to be completed. There's going to be no more, need to testify, because the Lord is going to seal his elect and close this thing up, and it's going to be a wrap, but we see this, brothers are pushing a lot of videos out, brothers are pushing out a lot of, information that's much needed to see the state of Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon. Okay, and we see this place is on its last leg, circling the drain. Literally circling the drain. Okay. And it's going to take faith. All right. It's going to take a lot of faith, because you have brothers like myself, different brothers. You may not be in the camp, It's going to take faith, all right, to receive salvation. We're not going to be able to be in a big group of people, and we understand that, that the Lord is going to have to, help us with his miracles, man. Because thinking carnal, being saved with a large group of men that believe is ideal, but it's not realistic in these times that we're in right now. A lot of division in Israel. A lot of men, are doing their own thing, or there's doors and walls, separating, men from dealing with men, So, we understand the scriptures. We understand what we're up against, and we're up against these wicked rulers in high places. But we got Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, man. Okay. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash.